Hello, and welcome to the English Lesson Lab. Today, we have a heartwarming and adventurous story for English learners at the A2 level. This story follows Emily, a young girl who loves adventure and dreams of exploring the world. However, when her family faces a crisis, she returns home and realizes that family is the most important thing in life. Join Emily as she embarks on a journey of discovery, love, and finding peace. Listen carefully, enjoy the story, and try to understand the words and phrases as you follow along. Emily's journey, from adventure to home. Chapter 1, The Girl Who Loved Adventure.
Emily had always been different from the other kids in her small town. While her friends were content with playing in the backyard, Emily dreamed of exploring vast landscapes, sailing across oceans, and climbing the highest mountains. She spent hours reading travel books, watching documentaries, and imagining herself in faraway places. She would sit by her bedroom window, staring at the horizon, thinking about the places beyond it. Her room was filled with maps, postcards, and souvenirs from different countries, sent by travelers she followed online. Emily had a scrapbook where she wrote down all the places she wanted to visit, from the busy streets of Tokyo to the serene beaches of Bali. One day, I will see the world, she told herself. I will climb mountains, cross deserts, and sail across the ocean. However, her parents had different thoughts. They loved their small town and believed that stability and routine were more important than adventure. Adventure is exciting, Emily, her mother said, but home is where you will always belong. Emily didn't agree. She wanted more than a quiet life in a small town. She wanted excitement, challenges, and new experiences. And as soon as she turned 18, she packed her bags, said goodbye to her family, and set off on her journey. Chapter 2. The journey begins. Emily's first destination was Europe. She had always dreamed of walking along the Seine in Paris, exploring the ruins of Rome, and getting lost in the charming streets of Barcelona. Every new place brought an overwhelming sense of excitement and wonder. In France, she visited the Eiffel Tower, tasting pastries in small cafes, and enjoying the artistic culture of Montmartre. She took a boat ride along the Seine River, watching as the sun set over the city's skyline. In Italy, she marveled at the Colosseum and took pictures at the Leaning Tower of Pisa. She learned how to make homemade pasta in a local cooking class and found herself captivated by the warmth and hospitality of the people she met. Spain was just as enchanting. She danced in the streets during festivals, tasted delicious tapas, and watched flamenco performances that took her breath away. Every experience was magical, every place a dream come true. She wrote letters to her family, telling them about her travels, but she never felt homesick. This is the life I was meant to live, she thought. The world was vast, and she was just getting started. Chapter 3. A Call from Home. One evening, as Emily was sitting in a cafe in Greece, her phone rang. It was her younger brother, Oliver. His voice was filled with urgency and worry. Emily, you need to come home, he said. Dad is very sick. Emily felt her heart drop. She had been away for almost 2 years, and though she had always planned to return home one day, she never expected it to be like this. Her father had always been her rock, the steady force in her life. The thought of losing him was unbearable. She booked the first flight home, her excitement for adventure quickly replaced by anxiety and guilt. Had she been selfish for leaving? Had she spent too much time chasing her dreams and too little time appreciating her family? As she sat on the plane, memories of her childhood came rushing back. The laughter around the dinner table, the long walks with her father, the smell of her mother's cooking. She had been so busy chasing adventure that she had almost forgotten what home felt like. Chapter 4. Returning to the familiar. Emily arrived home to find everything the same, yet different. The town was still small, the streets still quiet, but there was a heaviness in the air. Her father was in the hospital, weak but smiling when he saw her. "You're back," he whispered. "I knew you would come." Tears filled Emily's eyes. "Of course I came, Dad. I'm sorry it took me so long." She spent the next few weeks by his side, helping her mother and Oliver, and reconnecting with old friends. She walked through the streets of her childhood, remembering the days when she used to dream of leaving. Now, those same streets felt comforting, like an old friend welcoming her back. The adventure she had once craved so much now felt far away. Here, in this small town, surrounded by people who loved her, she felt something she hadn't felt in a long time: peace. Chapter 5: A New Perspective. As her father's health slowly improved, Emily began to see life differently. She realized that adventure wasn't just about traveling to new places. It was about being present, cherishing moments, and valuing the people who mattered most. One afternoon, she took a walk around the town she had once been so eager to leave. She noticed the beauty in the familiar, the laughter of children playing, the kindness of neighbors, the warmth of home. Her mother found her sitting on the porch, deep in thought. "You know, Emily," she said, "sometimes the greatest adventure is learning where you truly belong." Emily smiled. For the first time in her life, she understood exactly what her mother meant. She still loved the world and its wonders, but she also realized that home would always be a part of her. She didn't have to choose between adventure and family. She could have both. And as she sat with her father that evening, holding his hand, she knew that she had finally found what she had been searching for all along. Chapter 6. Embracing the present. Emily had spent weeks back home, and though she initially thought it was temporary, something inside her had shifted. She started appreciating the simple moments: morning coffee with her mother, reading stories to Oliver, and watching the sunset from her childhood home's porch. These things once felt ordinary, but now they carried a new kind of beauty. Her father's health was improving, and with it, so was her connection with her family. Emily found herself helping out more, listening to their stories, and enjoying the small-town life she had once wanted to escape. She realized that adventure didn't have to mean crossing continents. It could also mean rediscovering the love and warmth of home. Chapter 7. A New Purpose. One evening, Emily sat with her father, watching the stars. "You've always been my little explorer," he said. "But sometimes, the greatest journey is learning to appreciate what you already have." Those words stayed with her. Emily realized that while she still loved to travel, she didn't need to run away to find meaning. She started helping Oliver with his school projects, volunteering at the local library, and even reconnecting with old friends. It wasn't the life she had planned, but it was fulfilling in a way she never expected. She found herself applying the lessons she learned from traveling: patience, adaptability, and curiosity into her everyday life. And for the first time in years, she felt truly at peace. Chapter 8. Finding Balance. Emily knew she didn't have to give up her love for adventure completely. Instead, she learned to balance it with her responsibilities at home. She started planning smaller trips, ones that wouldn't take her away from her family for too long. She realized that traveling had given her incredible experiences, but home gave her something even greater: love, support, and a sense of belonging. It wasn't about choosing one over the other. It was about making space for both. One day, she sat down with Oliver and helped him create his own adventure scrapbook, just like the one she had when she was young. "You'll travel too one day," she told him. "But always remember, home is where your heart is." Chapter 9. A Different Kind of Journey. Emily found joy in sharing her experiences with others. She started writing about her travels and the lessons she had learned. Her stories resonated with people, and soon, she was invited to speak at schools and community events. She shared how adventure wasn't just about going far away. It was about seeing life differently, embracing change, and finding gratitude in the present moment. Her journey had transformed her, and now she was helping others see the beauty in their own lives as well. Chapter 10. Home is where the heart is. Years later, Emily looked back at her life with gratitude. She had traveled the world, but she had also built a life she loved at home. Her father's words had been true. Sometimes, the greatest adventure was appreciating what was already there. She continued to travel, but always returned to the place where she belonged. She had found her balance, and in doing so, she had found true happiness. Thank you for listening to Emily's journey. We hope this story helps you improve your English listening skills.
If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you can listen to more inspiring lessons. Do you have any thoughts about Emily's story? Or do you have ideas for future stories? Leave a comment below and share your feedback. We'd love to hear from you. See you next time on the English Listen Lab. Goodbye and happy learning.